Society of Microbiologists recommends Joy Antibac with Power of Safeguard. Removes 99.9% of germs sa sponge. Para iwas hawa sa pinagkakainan, mag-Joy Antibac with Power of Safeguard.
Iwas germs, iwas sakit.
Mag-Joy Antibac para iwas hawa sa pinagkakainan. Lumipas at magbago ang panahon. Iisa at nakatatak ang kauna-unahang himpilan sa paghahatid ng serbisyo publiko at balita. Ito ang Radio Mindanao Networks. Higit 6 na dekada sa paglilingkod sa masang Pilipino. Sa Metro Manila, ito ang DZXL 558 Radyo Trabaho. Ang inyong gabay sa hanap buhay.
Oras muna, alas 12:39 na po ng magandang hapon. At mga kasama, diretso po tayo sa Palasyo ng Malacanang para sa virtual press conference ni Secretary Harry Roque. At nasa linya po natin ngayon si Dzxl Radyoman 4, Angel Ronquillo.
Yes, Radyoman Rod, kasama nga ni Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque, itong sina Chief Implementer ng National Task Force Against COVID-19 at Vaccine SAR, Secretary Carlito Galvez, at itong si Testing SAR at Deputy Chief Implementer ng NTF versus COVID-19 na si Secretary Vince Dizon. At ang kanina pinag-uusapan, ito ang nalalapit na roll-out ng vaccination program ng pamahalaan na inaasahan na sa buwan ng Pebrero. At simula bukas, Juman Rod, ay mag-upisa sila sa pag-inspeksyon ng mga cold storage facilities na paglalagakan ng mga bakuna na paparating. Mga kasama, pakinggan natin ang nagpapatuloy na question and answer portion.
Patuloy pa rin mag-a-attend ang ating mga kalihim dun sa mga pagdinig ng Senado, sagutin ang kanilang mga tanong, pero kung binabaso sila, mag-walk out. No? So, yun lang po ang ating tatanungin sa Senador matapos itong napakahabang mga hearing na ito, anong batas po ang isasampa nila?
Sir, nakausap niyo po ba last night si Pangulo during the meeting if he'd be willing to take the first shot from Sinovac?
Opo, and his answer was, no problem, I will take the vaccine as soon as it is available. Dahil siya nga daw po ay talagang kailangan niyang magkaroon ng bakuna. Pero ang sabi niya, hindi na kinakailangan ipakita ito sa publiko. He's taking the route of the British sovereign, no? Dahil naging decision po nila Queen at saka ni Queen Elizabeth at ang kanyang asawa na pribado yung pagtuturok sa kanila.
Dito lang po sa abrogation of the UPD&D Accord, since Secretary Lorenzana was also present in the meeting last night, I was wondering if he was able to discuss this with the cabinet or the IAT officials and the president. Why has the government all of a sudden decided to do this after 31 years? May nakikita po bang threat sa UP students, and does the government see any urgent concern that needs to be averted right away with this move?
It wasn't discussed, although I found out about it because I overheard Secretary Lorenzana telling his staff what to do about the release on this. No? Pero in today's newspapers, nandiyan naman po yung dahilan na sinabi ni Secretary Lorenzana, marami pong mga komunista, NPA, CPP na nagre-recruit sa UP. No? Pero gaya ng sinabi ko po, no, talaga naman pong alter ego si Secretary Lorenzana, suportado po yan ng ating presidente. As to yung side ng UP, tanungin na lang po natin ang UP President Danilo Concepcion.
Thank you, Spokes. Just a few questions for Secretary Galvez and Secretary Dizon.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Secretary Galvez. Sir, can you hear me? Sir?
Go ahead,
To
please.
Secretary Galvez or to Sec Dizon po. Sir, with the President's directive last night to proceed with a roadmap or yung sa procurement plan po, no, will you still be participating in the investigations in Congress, particularly po doon sa, or magpa-push through pa po ba yung hinihingi ninyong executive session to discuss the prices of the vaccines?
Sino? Sec Galvez po or Sec Dizon? Sec Galvez, ano pong desisyon nyo sa darating na hearing sa Biyernes?
Ang inano ko po ay baka magpulong po kami gusto ko po sana magkaroon ng pagpupulong muna para at least malaman po natin at ano po namin, ang request ko po, nag-text po ako kay Senator Papi Lacson na pwede po muna ako mag-report para at least kung ano po, magkaroon po kami ng tinatawag na leveling of information at magkaroon po kami ng tinatawag na harmonization no, kung ano yung mga informations na nakikita natin nakita na magkaiba sa mga impormasyon na kukuha nila at saka sa atin. Ang ano po namin ay talaga magkaroon po ng tinatawag na conciliation at magkaroon po ng tinatawag na pagbuo ng magandang tinatawag nating relasyon sa ating mga taga-Senado. Dahil kasi nakita po natin na sa pandemic po na ito, kailangan po natin ang kooperasyon po ng Senado at saka ng Ekotibo para magkaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na whole of nation, whole of government approach. So I'm willing to reconcile with the Senate in case kung ano yung gusto nilang paggawa po sa akin. Pero ang lang kukulang po sa kanila na sana huwag nila pong i-violate ang national non-disclosure agreement. And we can have yung tinatawag nating executive session. Patingnan po natin kung ano po gagawin po natin.
Sir,
Trish.
na-approve po yung clinical trials ng Sinovac. How will this affect the rollout on February 20? Or is there any effect? Clinical trials po ng Sinovac na-approve na po ng FDA. How will this affect the rollout on February 20?
Meron po tayong mga clinical trial na gagawin. Hindi pa po natin alam yung development ng program ng WHO. But definitely, ang ano po natin kung magkaroon po ng aproban po yung ng FDA, yung clinical trial ng other vaccines dito po sa Pilipinas, kasama po ang Sinovac, ay pwede po natin ipagpatuloy po.
Well, Trish, if I could add, Trish, no? Wala pong epekto yan doon sa paggamit natin ng Sinovac kasi kung magagamit po yan, kinakailangan ma-issuehan muna ng emergency use authorization. But the clinical trial will be still useful for purposes of the general use authorization ng Sinovac.
Thank you, Secretary. Salamat
Thank
po.
you, Trish. Yusek Rocky, please.
Secretary, question from John Punsala ng ABS-CBN online. Nasa 400 pesos ang kada kilo ng baboy, 380 ang baka, 180 ang ampalaya. Kung minimum wage earner ka na kumikita ng 540 kada araw, mabigat sa bulsa kung bibilhin ang mga ito at iba pang pangunahing pangangailangan. Ano po ang ginagawa ng pamahalaan para mapababa ang presyo ng mga bilihin at gaano kabilis ito mararamdaman ng mga consumer?
Sa lalong mabilis na panahon, nag-aangkat po ang ating Department of Agriculture ng baboy galing po sa Visayas at Mindanao at iba pang mga ASF-free areas ng Luzon. Nagbibenta po sila ng baboy sa mga kadiwa in partnership with hog raisers, federations, gaya ng ProPork. Nag-i-import po sila ng baboy ngayon sa mga bansa na ASF-free at tinataasan po yung volume ng pork imports under the MAV o Minimum Access Volume. Sa medium term po, pinapatupad po nila yung bantay ASF sa barangay o yung babay at ito po ay nagnanais na ma-prevent at makontrol ang ASF in partnership with the LGUs, private sector veterinary groups, hog raisers and tracers, yung massive repopulation in ASF-free areas or green zones, yung quick, speedy indemnification dun sa mga may-ari ng baboy na napatay. Now, meron din provision para sa 30,000 zero interest, no collateral, 10-year to pay livelihood loans to displaced backyard and hog farmers. Para naman po sa gulay at sa mga prutes, ang immediate steps po, yung enforcement ng SRP, Suggested Retail Price, intensify po natin ang vegetable and fruit production, expand kadiwa in ani at kita, tapos magpapadala po yung mga rehiyon na mas maraming gulay at prutas sa Metro Manila, sa NCR, expand po natin yung ating urban agriculture, yung gulayan sa paralan at barangay. Nagdi-distribute po na mas maraming mga seeds at planting materials. No? Sa medium term po, magpapatayo po ng mga processing facilities at magbibigay po ng suporta sa mga transport vans, warehouses, cold storage. Sa isda naman po, mag-expand tayo ng aquaculture, lalo na sa tilapia at sa bangus. Magre-regulate po tayo ng import at magkakaroon po tayo ng joint fishing of commercial and municipal fisher folks. I hope that answers your question, Jam.
Okay, second question po niya, UP is asking the government to reconsider its junking of the pact preventing the entry of troops into the university's campuses. How likely is the government will heed this call?
Well, papakinggan naman po yan, pero kinakailangan magsalita pa po ng mas malinaw si President Danilo Concepcion nang malaman ang kanyang paninindigan at kung ano yung mga dahilan kung bakit dapat ma-reconsider yan.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you, Yusek. Joseph Morong, please.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, let's stay on the subject of UP. Ano ba yung gustong gawin ng AFP sa loob ng university, sir?
Well, tanong na lang po yan kay Secretary Lorenzana. No? I think he spoke on it and I think the Defense Press Corps should address that question to Secretary Lorenzana.
Yes, sir. You're a lawyer, you're a UP professor. That makes it difficult for you to answer probably the question. But in terms of consequence, for example, if the abrogation is finalized, that happens, can the AFP go into the university and arrest people in rallies?
Hindi po, no? Kasi ang AFP malinaw po ang kanyang mandato. No? It is for defense purposes. Yung drugs po, that's a police matter.
Okay. Can they do surveillance work inside the university?
They can do surveillance in the whole Philippines. No? Ang hindi po pwede is to intrude into protected rights.
That, such as?
Yun na po. Kung ano po yung karapatan. No? Surveillance, hindi naman po pinagbabawal yan. No? Pero yung mga kidnapping, yung mga ganyan, yan po mga pinagbabawal. O yung wiretapping na walang court order, yan po yung mga pwedeng ipagbawal.
Sir, ikaw, as a UP alumni, you've said na defer tayo sa statements ng UP President. But does it not make you comfortable kasi you're a professor once?
As I said, no, 10 years as a student, 15 years as a professor, 25 years. Ang problema ko po, hindi ko naranasan na nasa loob ng UP ang sundalo at pulis. So hindi ko po alam kung ano yung magiging resulta niyan. Pero sa aking karanasan po sa pag-aaral naman abroad, na total of 4 years sa dalawang lugar, ang pulis naman po talaga ay kabahagi ng pamantasan. At sabi ko nga po, sa Europa, wala silang campus. Dahil ang kanilang campus ay ang buong siyudad. Dahil ang konsepto sa Europa, ang mga paaralan, mga pamantasan ay kabahagi po ng lipunan. At nandun din po ang mga pulis.
Sir, do you think yung event that precipitated the 1989 Accord, do you think that will happen, that can happen again?
In 1989, the 1989 Accord, I was a third-year law student. Hindi ko talaga maalala kung ano yung
Continente, I think.
Kung ano yung event na yon, no? But I was
a student leader was abducted and was forced allegedly to own up to a killing of a soldier. Do you think that can happen?
Well, alam niyo po, meron naman tayong batas ngayon ng mga bago na nagpaparusa sa mga ganyang bagay. Yung pagdudukot po pwedeng maging kidnapping yan, pwedeng maging desperasido, no? Kung hindi ma-recover yung katawan ng tao. No? Bago po yung batas ng desperasido na yan. At syempre po, meron na rin tayong IHL law, no? Na nagpapataw ng parusa sa mga sundalo kung sila po ilalabag sa international humanitarian law. Yun po yung mga pagbabago since 1989 and today.
Sir, yung po sa DOH, yung sa 500,000 doses ng vaccine from China, when is it due?
There is no other details released by either Chinese or Philippine authorities, but what is clear is they promised 500,000 free and that we have ordered 25 million from Sinovac. So hindi ko lang po alam if that will definitely be applied to our order or it can be applied to future orders. Let's wait for further details po.
Sir, kasi sa FDA said that the DOH can receive it and use it at their discretion without the approval of the FDA. Are we going to use the 500,000 donation without the FDA approval?
I do not think the FDA actually said that because the law is clear, no? Yeah. Kung meron kang special use authorization, pwede yung tingi, but 500,000 is not tingi. That's intended for 250,000 people, no? So that definitely requires an EUA or a general use authorization.
So we will ask the FDA to
I believe so
issue
because
an authorization.
That's what the rules provide.
Okay, sir, can I go to Secretary Galvez, please?
Okay. Secretary Galvez, please.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Welcome to your nth briefing and hearing. Sir, With regard to Sinovac and Sinopharm, have we signed the deal with them?
Wala po kami sa Sinopharm. Sa Sinovac, meron po tayong term sheet na nasa na.
Term sheet only, not supply agreement.
Yes.
So ibig sabihin, sir, hindi pa talaga pwedeng ma-break yung CDA because the government is saying, at what point are we going to disclose the prices of the Sinovac vaccine, sir?
Nandun po sa kontrata natin na during the negotiation and also after the signing and also at the time na ongoing pa yung programa. Meron itong tinatawag na it will become a public domain if the both parties agree to disclose it.
And government level, when do you want to disclose this? Because you want to be transparent, right?
Yes. Sinabi na namin na spokes na nakita natin na very transparent naman yung ating negosasyon. Kaya lang meron tayong tatawag na limitation considering that the CDA really conducts, so tinatawag natin na yung pinag-limit ng ano natin so that the different negotiating terms will not be unnecessarily disclosed to the public. So ang ano po natin yan is once the program is completed. And just in case na talagang nagkaroon na tinatawag na arrangement between two parties na i-disclose it. Similar to what happened sa Seneca when we signed it, na-disclose na natin yung volumes and also the prices.
The program of vaccination, you mean at the end of all, after using all of these Sinovac vaccines, dun pa lang, sir, natin i-disclose yung price?
No, maybe after the signing or maybe at the time that we feel that it is necessary to be disclosed.
Okay, sir. Sir, just one last question. February 20 is coming up. Can you share with us the step-by-step process that we're going to do with Sinovac when we deploy it? You said February 20, that's the delivery date, no? Can you just walk us through the plan?
Ang ano natin, kasama yung tinatawag nating parallel and natin pathway sa regulation. So, nung nagkaroon tayo ng signing ng term sheet, we advise Sinovac to process yung kanilang tinatawag na EUA. At the same time, we are processing yung payments with ADB and also with AIB and other banks that we will be having the loan. So after that, magkakaroon tayo tinatawag na supply agreement. The supply agreement tells the nitty-gritty on when the purchase will be arriving and yung time and motion from the airport where it will go, and then afterwards it will be inspected for more or less 3 to 5 days for its authenticity and also for the delivery of the product. And then afterwards we will connect with the different LGUs that will be receiving this vaccine. So more or less, siguro after arrival, it will take 5 to 10 days to process and prepare for the inoculation.
February 20, sir, ang arrival. Sir, just naalala lang ako. You said $700 million yung savings po natin. And if we have that savings, can you share with us the total amount that we're going to spend for the vaccines? Because naka-compute na po kayo ng savings sa $700 million.
Yes, ang ano po natin, nakita po natin yung ating budget from our multilateral loans and also bilateral sa mga bangko is 72.5 billion. Nung ginawa po namin yung pitong aming ninenegotiate, we look at the tawag nating market price and also yung negotiated price. And then when we negotiated, nagkaroon kami ng tinatawag na halfway agreements at nakita namin na napakalaki ng na-save natin sa ibang mga ibang various vaccine. Nung kinumpute namin po yon, ko po yon, nakita natin na more or less $700 million ang ating na-save. That's why makikita natin it only also see na yung 17 million na doses natin na target for 35 million. Kung makita mo, Joseph, di ba yung ating priority target is only 30,000. Kasi yun ang nakasulat na talagang kaya lang namin for 2021. Kaya nag-target kami ng medyo nag-allow kami ng konti na maging 35, so naging 70 million doses. But apparently, when we already negotiating, nakita namin na tumaas yung doses that we can allocate with the available money that we have. So from 70 million, naging 148 million doses.
Sir, if the savings is $700 million, how much is the total costs that we're going to spend for all the 7 portfolio of vaccines?
Ang talagang yung cost na natin is 82 billion, including yung tatawag natin mga incidental expenses. Kasama ang freight, kasama yung storage, kasama yung needles at saka yung tatawag nating mga syringes. And there are also agreements like for example, yung Sinovac, mayroon pong end-to-end po yun, may kasamang syringes na po yun.
Okay, maraming salamat, Joseph.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Secretary Galvez. Let's now go to Yusek Rocky again.
Yes, Secretary, from JP Soriano ng GMA7 for Secretary Vince Dizon. There are reports daw po abroad na nasira ang mga na-acquire na COVID-19 vaccines because there were changes in the required temperatures. Secretary, can you share daw to the public ano po ang ginagawa at gagawin ng gobyerno na hindi masira o masayang ang mga bakunang darating, lalo pagdating sa transportation ng mga ito mula sa arrival hanggang sa pagdadala sa mga cold storage facilities?
Maraming salamat, JP. Hindi tayo aware dun sa balitang yon, no, galing sa abroad. Pero closely coordinated tayo sa iba't ibang mga vaccine companies as to kung ano ang kinakailangan para i-preserve natin ang mga vaccines once na dumating sila dito sa Pilipinas. At closely coordinated din si Secretary Galvez at ang vaccine cluster natin sa iba't ibang mga kumpanya sa pribadong sektor na
Bayanihan laban sa COVID-19. Dzxl 558 Radyo Trabaho. Special coverage.